On this edition of HM Exclusive Interview, we have singing group sensation Allure. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me again. I am your host of HM Exclusive Interview, Ray Ash, and we have the lovely, the talented, the unmitigated, the beauties. They are one of my favorite groups. So, of course, I'm a little bit biased. Allure. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have wanted to interview you all for such a long time. So this is like perfect. I'm a stan, so I'm gonna tell you that right now. So I want to introduce yourselves to everybody. So we'll start with you. Just telling everybody who you are.
Hey, what's up? I'm Lala. Hey, y'all. I'm Aaliyah. What's going on? I'm Akisa. How are you? And we're Laura.
So where are you ladies from initially? Because I know you've been together for a long time, but just give everyone a little backstory of where you're from.
Our New York City slickers,
Yes.
Brooklyn, Bronx, and Spanish Harlem. All day, everything.
And you represent them well. Let's just say.
We tried.
We
Even
tried.
though most people didn't know that we were from New York.
Yeah,
but anyway.
we've got all types of Atlanta, Queens, North Carolina. Well, Queens, New York. Lord.
She got a lot. She got a lot.
Well, no,
She
I'm just-
forgot the other boroughs.
I'm just saying, as far as messing up our boroughs, they used to always do that because
They would
of
say
us.
Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did, but it was from
She be messing up and I wouldn't admit
Y'all let me
it
live,
sometimes. Nah, they gotta mix up Long Island and Queens.
No one gets away with Aaliyah.
Yeah, no one.
Blame the
I
green.
love it. The energy. So one of my favorite songs is All Cried Out, of course, for many different reasons. If you don't know, like I know, it was a classic remake from Lisa and Nicole Jam from back in the day. But you guys did it and took it and made it your own, which is something we're going to get back into because not many people can take a remake, make it their own, and then take it as far as you did. So first of all, I want to say, how long have you ladies, you've been together for a long time, right? Like tell everybody how long you've been together or yeah.
Well, we grew up together. We've been friends since we were like yay high.
Yeah.
And you know, our parents caught wind of us just being creatives at a very early age.
We became the entertainment for the family.
Literally, like every time family came over, it was like, go over there and sing something for everybody. You know, but then we started realizing as we, turned like got into the teenage years, that we just really loved music and it was something that we wanted to do, but we didn't know that we wanted to be professional about it. That was the work of our parents pushing us, and that's when we ended up going to LaGuardia High School together, and we tried. Lolly was good at it.
Yeah, Lolly did
we
well.
used to cut class all the time, all the time. And by the grace of God, maybe passed one or two classes.
Yeah.
If that,
We wound up leaving, but we went to LaGuardia.
We left and graduated somewhere else, but nonetheless, we're alumni.
I can't even act like the goody two shoe. I did still credit.
Oh Lord!
I still
Say it
credit.
out loud.
I said it out loud.
We're gonna get you.
My diploma says May instead of September. But I finished.
Okay.
All right.
But no, but while we were there, we got a chance to just like really dive into music a little bit more than we thought we knew of. Like we learned Italian and Russian and French and to sing in those languages, and it prepared us for what was to come. Like we ended up, once we got signed, singing in Japan and Japanese.
Right.
That was new for us. So we've been through it all.
Right.
To say at the very least, right? Yeah.
That is something. See, that's something that I never knew. Oh my goodness. That must have been an experience. But then to know also that you've been together for such a long time and your families wanted you guys to be together. How was that to have a support system? And then to see you actually flourish. Did that have something to do with it too? Your family and your friends?
Our family played a major part in us being where we are, continuing, because even sometimes when we feel like, you know what, it's not worth it anymore. Like we give up. Our parents are like, our families, not just our parents, but our families, period. Aunts, uncles, cousins are like, no, y'all got to keep going. This is what y'all are made to do. You guys you send so much light to different people. Because a lot of people don't know, I guess, when you feel like you don't have like huge success like people of the world expect you to have, you don't realize how much you may have touched somebody. Right. And we had to realize like that even though to the world, we might not have had the major success like some other artists, we touched a lot of lives. So we learned that as we kept traveling, kept performing, and people would come up to us fans, knowing songs that you wouldn't know unless you had the album.
Right.
We just were like, wow, this is supposed to be supposed to be here. So that's why we are still standing to
Yeah.
this day.
So this-
And
Right, and to this day, our road manager is our nephew. Our makeup artist and stylist is our cousin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
In the family all
Right.
the time.
Yeah.
And
But
we
it's-
caught a lot of flack for always keeping it in the
Right.
family.
Yep.
We had to have people that we knew really was for us.
Right. And it's also a very humbling experience as well. Not that we had to be humble because we've always been,
Right.
but I think that when you're in our shoes, like Aaliyah said, we went through the ups and downs, the feeling like we were here, even when people were even more here, we were here. But at the same time, we know what it's like to need that support, even from a personal perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like as mothers, grandmothers, whatever. So we get it. You know what I mean? Which is why I think that we still kind of like hold it together in a way where we still want to fight for it and we still have the passion for it and we still love it.
Right.
So, I think it's a great thing.
Because one thing a lot of people, well, you should know, we're not just artists, we're moms.
Yeah.
We're wives. We're, we juggle so many things. Like we don't have assistants. Like we're not at the point. And even if we were at the point where we can have assistants, like you just kind of want things a certain way.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just hard to, and then myself, I suffer from I'm bipolar. So just days when I'm manic, it's just hard to adjust with an autistic kid and still, doing what you have to do and then still showing up for work.
Right.
I was crying.
But
this whole
man,
weekend.
we feel like a woman.
Hey.
We try to make it.
We get it done. And
it
we
done.
have to lean on one
And
another.
we lean
Yeah.
on each other. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like she said, she
Just had a moment.
just had a moment right
before
we
this
had
interview.
No lie.
We had to hold it together and
Yep.
hold her down
Yeah.
and be there for her as a sister.
I changed the subject, but that was my way of holding
And
it.
she all in her jewelry box. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
But you know what? That shows the human part of you because that's what the people don't know. Because you're still human. Not the you're a highlight profile celebrity. You're a star. You're this, but at the end of the day, you're still human.
Yeah. One thing we always lived by, we always said that we're in the industry, but we're not industry.
Yes, right.
We've always heard that word celebrity. We've always heard the word diva, like, because we're so regular. Like, honestly speaking, like if you were in a room with us, you would get exactly this, and you'd be like, y'all really, this is who y'all are. We like to have fun. We like to just be regular in a world of everybody trying to be something extra. Like, it's not important to us. Like, we just want to touch somebody musically, and if that happens, then we're happy about it. That's it.
And speaking of being that you do seem so very down to earth, all of you, and I've met you previously, so I kind of know from her firsthand experiences. But my thing is being in the industry, but not of the industry. How is that when you have #1 hits? Do you still get the same camaraderie? Because All Cried Out was #4. Like, how do you come, and how do people still receive you? Because it's kind of hard still, especially when you're not of the industry.
Right.
You're in it, how is that?
Everything we've gotten after getting signed, like we worked for.
Right.
Right.
That's funny. A lot of people don't realize that. I think because when we tell our story, especially when we first came out, everybody felt like it happened overnight.
Yeah.
And they don't realize like we really worked hard. Even though we had Mariah and Trackmasters and we had so many features on our first album, to me, all those people wouldn't have been involved if it wasn't that they felt like, wow, these girls have something for us to be co-signing.
Right.
So we worked really hard, singing, auditioning. I mean, we had an audition with Andre Harrell, rest in peace. Yeah. And it was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
It was
sound
terrible.
like somebody was killing cats.
Like we was howling at the moon.
But we had to go through that to realize, regardless to whatever, this is a roadblock, but this is something that we had to go through to really understand what it's going to take to be in this industry. And we've been through it all. We sang for Puffy.
Right.
We sang for so many people. And people don't realize.
Signed to LaFace.
Right. We signed to LaFace for like 2 seconds.
Like, no, I want them.
Yeah, he didn't believe in the group, and then thank God for Mariah Carey, right? And
But like, we've always been very connected with God, so we always felt like everything happens for a reason. So if something didn't happen, it's because it wasn't meant to happen.
Right.
And we took our stones and we took our cards that God dealt us. We played the best hand we could.
Right.
And literally to this day.
Right. To this day, we're still taking those stones that people are throwing, and we are building.
Yeah.
We keep building. We don't allow anybody to take that away from us.
Thank God for
We're gonna have our own
next
nice projects by the time this is over.
Not nice.
They got luxury.
Wait a minute, they got heat now.
Oh, they got heat.
They got luxury. They got luxury.
Too much.
Go on NYC Connect.
Put up now.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Your bond is like this. It seems to really be like this. And I think that is why with your united front, I mean, like, I don't know your circle personally, but it just seems like your united front is very strong. And I think when you have that alignment, it can't be broken.
Turn it in the seat. Turn it in the seat. I know she love me because she don't like feet. She let me put my feet on. Like feet. So you're right. I would have slapped you.
My feet don't stink either.
They don't. They smell like
good. I didn't say hello, so.
Tell them like when people, I get when people look at you and they hear you, but when they actually have to know, like when you were just touching base on, you were grinding, you got what you got because you put the hard work in. Some people just want to see the finished product. They want to just see the goods. So with you, when did that final moment happen when you became professional? That step, what took place to take you to that next level?
Let me tell you, for us, and let me tell you, we still work in progress as far as professionalism, Jesus. But for us,
it's the professionalism I respect.
When we started, we finally got signed to Mariah. They sent us to like
etiquette school,
kind of, because we were like, it is what it is. We're us. It is. We coming in, we're like, no. We have to have some etiquette. So we had to learn how to have interviews and how to do things. Right. That was like experience for us because we were like, we know how to speak. We know how to. We're not realizing until we actually watched ourselves doing an interview. Like,
I said, oh my God.
It was uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. And you realize like it's a different. You have to do different.
It's a technique.
So much so that we felt like it was taking away from who we were. Right. So for a long time, it was like we were just like robots. Yeah. We had to be this way and show this. Right. And we were being pulled in so many directions. Exactly. People know track masters. They were more like hip hop.
They were carefree. They didn't care.
Mariah was more, she was popping. Like you have to be away, and you have to. We were being pulled. We got violated.
Yeah, that was track masters. Yeah. But the funny thing is that even with all that being said, now we're here, and we notice that people love us being our authentic selves, and not saying that even with all the practice that we had and the training and whatever that we weren't being authentic. It was a little bit in a way because it's like we were afraid to say the wrong things and to move the wrong way and to not, the posture not being right. And it's like for now to be in our 40s, right? But to be here at in this day and age, and people are like, I just love how authentic you guys are. You guys are just funny. You can tell that you guys get along and whatever. This is who we are. The good, the bad, the ugly, the arguments. We show it and we don't care because this is who the hell we are. Right. You get what I'm saying? So
we had to learn that.
Face though, like
we had to learn that along the way.
Yeah.
So we realized, like, yes, all the training was amazing, and we appreciate it. Thank you, Cynthia Horner.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much. She was our Angela LD.
Yeah, it was a little rough. I had the toughest time.
But with all that training, we realized we got to be true to ourselves. Right. That's what it taught us, and that's what it is, and that's why we
appreciate it. Yeah,
we can keep going, knowing that we're good with who we are.
Right,
and that's what it is.
And if it taught something, it's a time and a place for everything.
Right, because I can put on my corporate Lisa. I'm not LaLisha when I have to be Lisa. My name is Lisa.
Yes. I think we all do that. I do that too.
Look, she's not do that too. Look, you got switched up. Got switched up.
Trust me, there's Radiance. Well, actually, I'm a Gemini, so there's Radiance, Ray, Teresa, and Don't. So there's 4 people. That's before. I totally get it. You do, but that's just a part of growth and being professional and knowing your settings, like you said. Right. But you know what I mean? That's just a part of life. Like now you look back, the same thing. I look back at certain things that I did or how I was. I wasn't comfortable in my skin for a very long time. And so that comes with growth, especially as women, because we are put with so many different strains and elements on us. And you got to hold this and hold that. How was that for you being a woman in the industry? And then you have all these different other women around you, which is quite different from today, I might add.
Yeah.
How was it like? How was that too with imagery, especially back then? because it was more women and girl groups back then. This day and age, it's like you don't really see them. So how was that surviving in doing what you did?
I think for us, like I said, because we are truly who we are with everybody. So it's either take it or leave it. So we've been to shows with some girl groups, we won't name names, and they weren't that kind. Right. And we've been on some where we have laughed because the show was so damn hilarious. And it was like a camaraderie with what was going on within it. So there are some girl groups and some females that we showed that togetherness because we knew what it was to be in the industry at that time with men just doing everything and dominating the whole industry and having damn near every girl group had a man that was basically in charge of the girl group. Right. So we had those moments. And then, like I said, we had moments with girls groups that weren't that great. And that's okay. Always say,
we're not gonna kiss ass either. Absolutely, we're not. We're never that.
I don't even care who you were, where you were, where we were. If you were high on the charts, if you were low on the charts, we didn't give a damn.
But even with saying that, we've always been very positive to a point where, regardless of how we've been treated, we're not gonna treat somebody else the same way.
But don't push it.
But right. I ain't no killer, but don't push me.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's like we know what we came from. We know. Well, she said not to go. That's fucking. At the same time, we know that we came from a place where we were those little girls that were looking up to other girls groups and other artists, just in general, whether it be male groups, whatever, that were inspirations to us. Right. So if you even gave an inkling of a little ingredient as to why we wanted to do what we want to do today, we're gonna give you love regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not with the catty shit. Can we curse? I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
We're not with the catty. We're not with the petty. We're very much encouraging to other people. We want people to encourage us, but we're always going to be supportive, whether we get it or not. And we haven't gotten it plenty of times, but we're still going to show love. Don't push me.
Because my middle name is Petty LaBelle, so I guess it would be Lisa Petty LaBelle.
Oh shit! Now she got a middle and last name.
I got a whole name now.
Lisa Petty. Okay.
Lisa Petty.
Damn.
Love it.
She got attitude.
And speaking of which, I gotta get into this song, which is my all Cried Out. Well, you also had Head Over Heels, but I love All Cried Out. And again, how you made it over and made it yours. The whole video, that was a whole era. I often say I just want to do the 2000s like for another 10 years. Just I'll never get that. We'll never get that back. And you were a part of that. Do you? I mean, I don't know if you can understand that, but you were a part of an era where music was just there. We don't no offense to any other artists, but it's not really there right now. It was so it back then. So how did you come about with having All Cried Out, making that over and making it basically yours?
Well, that actually was Mariah's idea because they were trying to figure out like, we should take that was thrown out there to do a remake because that necessarily wasn't going to happen on the album.
Right.
So she's like, I think you guys should do a remake, and we're thinking, and she's like, how about All Cried Out? Lisa son, 4/4. We was like, yeah.
We started singing it.
She was singing the male part. It was hilarious. Right. And then like, who's gonna be the guys? Right. Who would be the counterpart?
So everybody. About Boys and Men. So about Player. Oh my God. We love Player. Yeah.
Shout out to Player.
Yeah. And then she's like, how about 112? And we were like,
ooh. It was like 4-4. Like,
trying to create the Supremes and the Temptations whole thing. Yeah. We started that in the 90s. It's okay. We don't get credit, but it's all right. It's okay. But so we did it first.
You.
Hey.
Told your boy, tell her.
Yeah. So that's how that whole thing came about. Was happy to do it. Yeah. And here we go. Full force. Lisa, they gave us their blessing and they appreciated it and loved it too. So it just turned out to be us.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, even though like I said, you made it your own. So kind of like when the other people or the generation, especially like my son, like when he would hear me listening to it, he doesn't know that it was prior. So he just knows you. He knows the song through you. So you kind of got to like, I said, maybe I should kind of tell him. Yeah, but I never did. It's over with now. He'll be okay. But my thing is, he'll be fine. He's good. My thing is, I wanted to ask you, especially being, like I said, just a staple, and then people can look at you and say who you are. Like you said, you've done what you've done, and the reason why you're still here is because of what you've done. You just let it flow naturally. Do you think you would be able to survive in this space now if girl groups, women groups were around, like in this era, you know, because you could, I believe personally that you could because of your sound and because it's so needed right now. So how do you feel about that?
I think girl groups are kind of making a comeback. You see a lot of 90s kind of groups and tours coming back. We believe it's becoming, you know, it's coming full circle. Full circle. This is why I hate it. But every 20 years, history repeats itself. So hopefully, we have been around for at least 20 plus, and we'll have our, you know, our due date or just whatever God intends for us, whatever our path is. We're fine with it.
And I think with today's music, for them, it's their authenticity of who they are.
Yeah.
So I believe if we were coming out now with our authenticity of ourselves, I think people would appreciate it because we're just being who we are.
Right.
I feel now people are more accepting to you being who you are.
Genuinely,
So
I mean, there's no privacy. They want to see you
Right.
shit. Like, they want to hear you fart because they can't smell it. Like, they want to be a part of every moment. So they prefer you to be, you know, they can't wait for you to blow up and have a, you know, and become viral, become a meme. So
And I think that's why reality TV has been such a pivotal moment in like this era, because I feel like people enjoy, like they said, people enjoy to see the ins and outs, and they want to see the in between. They want to see when you're down, because most people don't see that.
No, the average human loves to see you when you're down.
No,
believe it or not.
But what I'm saying is, like, back in the day when we had shows, like it was just like Motown, when we did Motown and Vibe and Ricky Lake and all these shows, it was just you seeing us perform about the talent. Now it's about, I want to know when you don't have nothing to eat. I want to know when your bank account is low. I want to know when you got problems with the next guy and you got 5 babies over here and you had a miscarriage. Like it's too invasive at this point to where forget about what's actually important. And that's the music.
Right.
Like you look at all these shows with R&B divas, like with Nikki Gilbert, that was in it with Kiki White, all those people. It's like we forgot about the music. Right. Why are we paying so much attention to all the catty shit and the arguments and this and that? And it's like the music is what's important.
Right.
And that's what's important. Like, yeah, we'll let you into a certain degree of certain things that's happening in our lives, but the main thing is we can sing the music. So I think that's the hardest part, is being able to balance who we are and then finding a happy medium to what's trending. Right. Because what's trending is not necessarily what the hell we do.
Right.
Yeah. And with that, with social media, how is it and how have you been navigating it? Because a lot of people either.
You lucky I never used to press power and send for you to get on. You would have like, we've been a meme like
for real. When your grandmama can't
on
the VCR.
How many singers does it take to turn on the Zoom? Okay. We would have had sideways.
For real.
No lighting and then dark in here.
Let me say, people horrible technology. But I'm gonna say this, and I always say this in every interview we do, because people make fun of us with our Instagram followers because they're like, oh, y'all only have 7,000, blah blah blah, and it keeps going up, and we're like, that's okay, because our Instagram followers are genuinely our followers who really appreciate us. I'd rather have that than a million people that just want to come at us crazy
with drama.
Or just want drama or don't really give a shit about what we're doing now. They just want to see down.
Girl.
So we appreciate every single one of them, every step that we take in this industry, no matter how hard it is.
Come on, Bobby Brown.
That's right. Our 7,138 followers will be there. Yes.
We'll be there.
We love you.
They'll be together. Right. That's right.
I was trying to see finish.
I was swallowing.
Sorry.
No
she was swallowing. See? Yes. Hey, fellas.
Hey, y'all.
Of course, 718-322 Akisa.
Irresistible.
Oh, Lord.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love to see laughter and fun, and you know what I'm saying. I just be like you said, the authentic you. I love it. How do your children like? Because that drives my son crazy when I'm, you know. How does your
don't ask our kids that.
Yeah, our kids do not like it. They don't want us to daily. Do not even own the fact that their parents when they come to Lord anything. They like keep me off of social media. Right. Not say y'all are my mommy and my aunties. Yeah. I'm good on that.
My daughter likes it because She's the oldest one,
No,
right?
she's been there.
She's been in the beginning, so she's about to be 27. So she's with the shit. She's like, I love it because it just shows who y'all are, and like y'all crazy and kooky, but I love it. Yeah.
The younger ones
are like,
He only likes it because we aren't out now. He was like, I wish I were out then, because then I can have your followers on my YouTube channel for them to follow.
My daughter wants no parts of it. She's like, you and aunties keep me out of this.
But not for nothing. Her child, right? Our niece. She says all that when it comes to like the public thing, but when we together, she's just goofy as all hell. Yeah. She's right in the middle. You gotta show me first, and I'll give you permission.
You can't put her on blast.
You know, we can't put her on Mumu. We don't do that.
She has an image show.
My son is the same way. He blocked me at one point in time because I was liking his pictures. I'm like, well, what? All I did was like your pictures. I can't like it. I was like, what did I do wrong?
Nope.
What is something that you want the audience to know about you that they don't know, if you want to tell them? Something that, you know, you've just never, whether it's something you love to eat, cook, or something that happened, what do you want the audience to know? Group-wise, separately, doesn't matter.
So.
I love to bake, and I have a certification with balloon artistry.
And so really
we are
anytime you see our backdrops and all that, it's her.
First of all, where you live at again?
What happened?
Where you live at again?
Oh, I'm in New Jersey, in Elizabeth.
She married close.
No, but I have to be. You gotta taste her lemon icing with her cupcake.
Oh,
girl,
This is the thing.
lemon. No,
This is the thing. Right, like when you see it, it looks amazing. But the thing is, some people make it looks amazing, but it tastes like shit.
Like shit.
She makes it looks amazing, and it tastes incredible.
Oh,
especially the medicinal ones.
Oh, yeah. I
like the medicinal ones.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say lemon.
Yeah,
that's my favorite one.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some cookies, so I'll make you some.
Ooh, girl, lemon.
But I love balloons. They call me.
All right, Dookie.
And then we're in the process of making some big things happen.
Yeah.
I would try them because citrus is one of my things. I love lemon and orange. Anything with lemons and orange in it. Yes.
There you go.
I'm down.
Yes.
Cool.
Definitely. So, in something else, like, what do you have coming out that you want the audience to know about? Any good stuff?
Gag.
Well, let's explain it before you say it like that. It's like, what? No.
I keep the 718.
We are coming out. It's gonna be bigger than just the podcast, but like, we are big on not saying too much because we say too much and it doesn't happen, and then we're like, come at so stupid. But we have a podcast coming out called Gag, which means grown ass girls. Because as you can see, we are grown ass girls. We like to have a good time. So we have our podcast coming. But with that podcast, it's going to bring so much stuff. Yep. You're going to get to see the side of who we really are, our personal lives. It's going to be so much bigger than just the podcast. So please look out for that. Yeah. And our music. And we have a single. We say it's new because everybody doesn't know it. Right. So we have a new single, Like I Do, featuring. You can go. It's free, y'all. Right. We gave it for free. Literally. So go download it. Or go to our YouTube. What's our YouTube?
Official Allure 97.
Right. Go listen to it. Give us your input, feedback, and
or talk shit.
Yeah.
And our little sisters on it. DGB.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Shout out to
Yes.
Wow. And how can everybody find and follow you and support you? Give them your deeds.
You can follow us on Instagram, Official Allure 97. You can sign whatever. And YouTube is Official Allure also, and Allure Live on Facebook.
Don't get on us about Facebook, y'all.
We are terrible on
we
Facebook.
Barely are like good with Instagram, but we will answer back. Trust and believe. We're hearing it's from one of us.
Yes.
So every now and then it's our role manager. Shout out to J. Park.
Shout out to J. Park. You don't do this, I'm like. But I mean, like we said, we're working on new things, so we might have some more stuff in the works, but right now, that's where you can follow us and get in contact and keep up with our shenanigans, as we like to say.
I love it. I love the realism. I love the human factor. I just love that you are just beautiful, authentic women. And it's such a pleasure to meet you and meet the faces and just hear the humanality behind you and behind the music. So a lot of times you don't get to see this, and some people don't appreciate it, but you are. You're very appreciated. And I thank you so much for being on 18 Exclusives. And you do know, if you want your podcast streaming on a network, you have one. Hint, hint, hint. So you know that you can do that. And it's an all-woman network for women. So I would love to have you a part of that. But most importantly, I am so glad that you and your family pushed you to come out and lend your talents to us. So it's truly a So thank you for joining us at 18 Exclusive. This is Allure, and we will be watching. Thank you.
Love you, Mama. Thank you.
Love you so much. Thank you.
Cheers.